This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good Tuesday morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Matter.
I'm Ray Collins. May the 9th, 5 a.m. And once again, you see that the moon out there, it's about three-quarters full.
It is. It's very big and very bright, too, as well.
Yeah, it is. Speaking of bright, John Scalzi.
Lovely morning outside. Still have low humidity. Feels pretty nice. Yesterday was great, right? Yesterday afternoon.
Very
Did you like
nice.
that?
Yes.
Stamp it and repeat it today. That's what I say.
All right.
That's what we're going to do. The forecast again remains very dry outside, and the fire danger index is again very high. Red flags are flying over about half peninsular Florida. So again, we obviously have to be very careful with outdoor flame and respect the bans that are in place right now. We have some cloud cover back to the west, but really nothing over the state of Florida. It'll be a mostly sunny day once again. Daytime highs topping out in the mid 80s, close to the coast, upper 80s as you get further inland, close to the 90 mark as you hit the spine of the state. Lots of sun to go around, but no rain, unfortunately. We'll talk about the next rain chance coming up in just a few.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Traffic smooth right now in Manatee County. No real delays to speak of. Farther south now into Sarasota County. See a little red there in northbound 301 around Newtown. Not too much to speak of at this point of the day. And farther south into Sarasota County, nothing on the maps at 5:02 on your Tuesday morning. Very mysterious story tops the news this morning. 2 people are dead after the van they were in drove off the South Jetty in Venice, crashing into the water.
Several witnesses say a white minivan was parked on the south side of the jetty when it accelerated forward, smashing into a bench at the edge of the water. And then dozens watched as the white minivan quickly sank to the bottom of the jetty. Witnesses describing the victims as frantic, pounding on the windows, begging for help. Several people dove in but were unsuccessful in their attempt to save the pair inside. After Venice Police Department, Marine Patrol, the Sheriff's Department, and several other agencies spent hours searching, the vehicle was recovered 15 feet underwater, about a quarter-mile away from where it submerged. Police towed the vehicle to the Mary Heigl boat ramp, the deceased still inside. Tim Corin watched the tragedy play out. He was sitting on his boat just feet from where the van crashed into the water. He says he immediately jumped in to help.
I dove in and swam over and couldn't get the doors open, couldn't get the slider open, tried the rear hatch, screaming for people to help. And my friend Brett actually dove in with a couple of tools. He was able to break the driver rear window, and we couldn't get the occupants from the front seat compartment, and it filled up with water and went down like a rock.
Police have not released the identities of the victims. There's no word on what caused the van to accelerate into the water, but the investigation remains ongoing. Another
mysterious story here. A man is dead, a woman is hospitalized, and sheriff deputies are trying to figure out what happened off Casperson Beach yesterday. Rescue crews responded to a call about a boat in distress. They pulled the man and woman who were clinging to the raft out of the water about a half-mile offshore. His cause of death is still under investigation. The woman was taken to the hospital.
After a month on administrative leave, Sarasota's parking director is returning to work. Mark Lyons is being demoted from general manager to manager, and he'll have to undergo ethics training. This comes after he recommended that his son-in-law create artwork for the State Street garage without disclosing their relationship. 2 other employees in the planning department were also demoted following that investigation.
Well, today starts day 2 of jury selection for a triple murder case in Manatee County. Andres Avalos is accused of killing his wife, Amber, her friend Denise Potter, and her boss, Pastor Tripp Battle, in December of 2014. If convicted, he could face the death penalty. Yesterday was the first day the prosecution and defense met with over 70 potential jurors. Jury selection should take until Thursday. The judge says the trial should last 3 weeks.
Well, the day has come. It is election day today for parts of the Suncoast. Voters still have the opportunity to hit the polls today for the city of Sarasota's runoff election and Northport's special election. In Northport, the election will determine who will fill seat 4 on the city commission after Commissioner Jacqueline Moore resigned to run for a different office. Jill Luke and Pete Emmerich are now in the running for that seat. Luke says one of her priorities is to help boost local business. While Emmerich is also pro-business, he wants to see more companies come to Southwest Florida while also reining in the city's budget. They both say they're ready for whatever happens.
I feel as though what needs to be will be. I'm one that lives my life like that.
I feel very excited about tomorrow. I think we're going to have the showing that we should.
Polls will be open today from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And in the city of Sarasota, voters will choose 2 new at-large city commissioners. 3 candidates are hoping to fill those seats in a runoff election. Jennifer Ahern Koch, Martin Hyde, Hagen Brody are all on that ballot. To watch a recent debate of the 3 candidates at our station, you can go to our website at mysuncoast.com. ABC7 will have up-to-the-minute results of today's elections both online and in our evening newscasts.
Happening today, a protest against area Congressman Tom Rooney. People in Florida's 17th congressional district are holding a die-in protest outside the office of Rooney. The reason they don't agree with his vote and support for Trump Care. Members want to express the severe consequences that tens of thousands of his constituents could suffer, they think, if the Trump Care bill he voted for last week becomes law. That's today at the old courthouse in Punta Gorda at 11:30 a.m. Okay, 5:06 right now on to national news. A Kansas man has been sentenced to life in prison for torturing and killing his 7-year-old son.
As Shannon O'Brien tells us, neighbors are quite shocked.
I want to forgive him. I can tell I do, but I just don't think it's the right time to.
This is Adrian Jones's sister, who was just 9 years old when her mother hooked up with Michael Jones. She says she did her best to protect her little brother from abuse until the couple split up and Michael took the toddler boy. Evidence gathered by police shows that from there, Adrian Jones' life was filled with endless torture at the hands of his father and stepmother, Heather Jones, until the 7-year-old's body gave out from all of the abuse and starvation, and he died.
The worst part for me is that there were people that saw what happened to him, or at least had an idea, and they never called the police. One visit from the police there would have saved him.
Kansas City, Kansas detective Stuart Littlefield responded to a domestic call at the Joneses' house in November of 2015, along with his partner, Detective Brad Lancaster. The two never expected the horror they would find inside the home that became Adrian Jones's prison. Detective Lancaster was murdered before he could see Adrian get justice.
We all worked this case together, but it became Brad's obsession.
Worst case of your career?
Yes. Worst thing that I've ever had to see at this point in my career, and I hope to never see anything this bad again.
Police who worked this case, Adrian's sister, mother, and grandmother all spoke at Michael Jones' sentencing, while Jones sat with his back to them. No reaction, no emotion.
That he has no remorse. You know, that either that or he was just totally embarrassed by what he had done. I'm not sure. I wish I did know. I don't think I ever want to go into evil's mind like that and try to figure out what exactly they're thinking.
Adrian's stepmother is also serving a life sentence in his murder. She took several photos and video of the abuse against Adrian, which was used to help convict both of them.
And in Texas, an angry mother took to social media with a stern warning after facing off with a would-be burglar in her own home. This is the video shared by thousands on social media. It's a message to the person who broke into her home last night to let him know she is locked and loaded. Maria Luz says she was face to face with the intruder. As soon as he saw the gun in her hands, he ran out the door. She says she knows what they were after, that is price-a Kanye West shoes that her son sells and trades online, and he had just posted a new pair on social media right before that break-in. The protective mother says her surveillance cameras captured everything, and the burglar also left fingerprints behind as well. So he put the sneakers online, the son did, and the bad guy saw that and went to the house.
That happens, I guess, right? You have to be
That's
really
why-
careful when you do.
Yeah.
Exactly what I was going to say. So exactly, you have to be careful what you put on social media because you never know who's looking.
You should even say, I'm going on vacation next Tuesday, can't wait, because that stuff gets seen also.
Yeah, a lot of these apps will even follow you, you know, and post your location without you knowing it, and that's not a good thing. So we have today kind of a repeat of yesterday. We'll talk about the forecast and the next chance of rain in a second.
All right, well, still ahead, the city of Venice is celebrating a big milestone today. We'll tell you where and how you can join in.
And later in the hour, a prank on an elderly woman turned into an arrest and charges for one Florida teenager. Stay with us.
There's a whole new way to bank with Achieva Checking Plus. You get new features like cell phone protection for 3 phones, plus an interest-bearing account. And that's good to know. Discover all the benefits at achievacu.com. Achieva, banking for good. Achieva Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
I'm Alan Cohn. Live election coverage. Suncoast voters are choosing new commissioners in Sarasota and Northport. We'll bring you the results as they come in.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job. I am Goodwill, yeah.
There's a whole new way to bank with Achieva Checking Plus. You get new features like full ID theft protection, and that's good to know. Discover all the benefits at achievacu.com. Achieva, banking for good. Achieva Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC 7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
So if you look at the boards, the current numbers, they're just about exactly where they were yesterday. 64-degree air temperature, dew point coming in at 57, which is still very comfortable, and a calm wind. Now, again, today, I think we're going to watch that wind shift a little bit more to the west in the afternoon. That'll bump up our dew point values just a little bit, and they'll climb into the 60s, probably low 60s, but they may be a degree or two a little more humid than it was 24 hours ago in the dew point value. Instead of a 62 or 3 degree dew point in the afternoon, you might have a dew point value of 64 or 65. So what does that mean? Well, it means that it may feel slightly more humid by 2, 3 o'clock this afternoon, if you're paying attention to it. If you're not paying attention to it, you might not even notice it. But over the next several days, we are going to see a gradual increase in the humidity values. It'll be a very slow process, but it's going to happen as we head into the weekend. 64 degrees Wauchula, 65 Arcadia, 63 Myakka, 63 Parrish. Very pleasant temperatures there right along the immediate coastline. Slightly warmer temperatures thanks to the moderating influence of Gulf waters. 69 degrees Longboat Key, 67 degrees in Venison, 68 degrees in Inglewood. So across the state right now, this dry air aloft indicated by these tan colorizations, I should say, on the water vapor imagery, still locked in place. We still have that dry air over the peninsula, which is going to absolutely, first of all, limit the amount of cloud cover we get, and secondly, just preclude any kind of rain showers across the state again today. Titan radar dry at this hour, and it will be all afternoon long. I could take this image, I could slap it on the screen at 8 o'clock tonight, and that's exactly what you will see. clear skies across the region. So the Deep South looks pretty quiet right now. If you're traveling to the Atlanta airport or the Charlotte hubs, no problems there. Otherwise, we still have some rain showers along this frontal boundary that's kind of stalled out to the north of us and back to the west. An area of low pressure continuing to develop there. None of these systems will bother us whatsoever. High pressure remains our dominant weather feature and will be our dominant weather feature really right into the weekend. By the weekend, maybe things will change a little bit as a front back to the west kind of tries to make it into the state of Florida. It won't have much success. It'll basically fall apart. But it will be responsible for our only chance of rain this week. And it won't be much of a chance at that. It'll only be about 20%. Slow moisture increase. You will notice that over the next several days. No rain in the forecast, unfortunately, over the next several days. And cooler near the coast, warmer inland as we develop an onshore flow once again this afternoon. High pressure keeps us dry. You can even see on this futurecast the kind of spin going on in the cloud pattern across the Deep South. That's the effect of that big high pressure ridge which sits right over the Deep South in the Florida Peninsula, kind of blocking any approaching weather systems from giving us any chance of rainfall for the next 4 or 5 days. Fire danger index remains high across the region. These places in violet, Manatee County, that is an indication of the highest level of danger in the fire danger index. And the fire danger index is a indice that tells us how likely it is for a fire to start on any particular day and how necessary it would be if that fire started to require professional suppression. So, as you can see, the risk is still very high across our region. The forecast for boaters looks pretty good. Northeast wind shifting to the west at about 10 knots today. It'll bring you a light chop with 2-foot seas. Beautiful day to be on the water. Forecast calls for several lovely days. Warmer humidities, I think, over the next couple of days. A little bit more cloud cover Thursday into Friday. That slightest little chance of showers on Saturday. And Mother's Day looks great. Let's not forget Mom. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, John. Taking a look at traffic this morning. Looks like State Road 70 heading east and west, seeing a little bit of congestion. Also 301 as you're heading south. There's a little bit of slowdown on 64 heading east into downtown Bradenton as well, but I-75 looking clear as we head into Sarasota County. Looking pretty quiet throughout that area. A little bit of congestion on Siesta Key, which is a little odd at 518 this morning. But other than that, as we head into South County, looking clear as well. Some congestion towards Business 41 around Venice. All clear as far as accidents are concerned on the Suncoast this morning. It is 5:18 this morning, and Florida became the 27th state back in 1845, but it was many years later that Suncoast cities were incorporated.
For Venice, it's a big time for an anniversary celebration now. Linda Carson has details.
90 years ago, on Tuesday, May 9th, Venice became a city by the act of the state legislature. That date's not going by unnoticed. There's going to be a big celebration here. It'll be at the newly restored Lord Heigl House.
This is the oldest house in Venice, second oldest house in Sarasota County. It was built in 1896.
It always amazed me that they must have brought all the lumber, everything to build the house must have come by boat. There was no railroad at the time it was built. There were, basically the roads were sand paths.
This will be the first time the house has been open to the public since the restoration. The first floor is now a museum.
We'll have memorabilia inside to tell them about the house and what it was like living here in the 1890s.
During the restoration, they made some amazing discoveries. They found a century-old meat grinder hidden under a stairwell and historic documents in the walls.
We found a letter from Joseph Lord to his daughter Louise, written in 1893. We found a document between he and two other gentlemen setting up a company to mine phosphate around what today we call Roberts Bay, March 7th, 1893. To hold these in your hand and realize nobody's held them in over 100 years, it's pretty exciting.
You'll see how they use the outside of the house.
Because there's photographs that actually show the tubs where they did the laundry out on the backboard.
And why the house is built up off the ground.
The fact that it's up off the ground the way it is, you do know that they let the chickens run under the house to eat the fleas and the other bugs that existed there.
There'll also be outside activities on Tuesday.
We have Nokomis Groves is coming with some of their ice cream and orange juice. We have pictures of the house to color for those people that like to color. We have one of the descendants of the Heigls is going to make us some homemade goodies.
And you'll learn about the Lord and Heigl families who lived here.
George Heigl. George Heigl was a newspaper man, believe it or not. He wrote a weekly column for the Sarasota Times. He got paid $1 every week.
And that's the only written documentation of life in Venice in those days. The celebration runs from 4 to 6 here at the Lord Heigl House on Tuesday afternoon. Come and be a part of history and celebrate Venice's 90th anniversary. Linda Carson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
There's a Heigl Street on Siesta Key.
Yeah.
Must be the same relation, but neat history. Love that story about Venice.
Me too. 90th birthday. Can you imagine?
There we go.
Crazy. Well, still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, the makers of a popular cookie are asking for new flavor ideas. It could offer a big payout, though.
And next half hour at 5:30, it's a day late, but Florida has a budget now. How it affects you coming up.
I'm calling in regards about my mother, and I'm here, and I just want to thank you because it saved my mother's life yesterday. And I'd like to know the names of the people that came in and saved her. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
With Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-962-4112. That's 1-800-962-4112. Call now, 1-800-962-4112.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Rose takes her volunteering for Tidewell Hospice very seriously. But she knows how to have fun, too. And that's what she brings when we're invited to visit patients as part of Tidewell's pet therapy program. People love to see her. She really brightens their day. She makes people smile. And in end-of-life care, a smile can be a wonderful gift. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
What Florida city is best known for spaceflight?
Cape Carnival.
Cape Carnival? Close enough. What condiment includes vinegar, molasses, and anchovies?
Westchester sauce?
Close enough. And now, a word from our sponsors.
One-off from the Florida Lottery. Now available for pick 2, 3, 4, and 5 games. Miss by one on any or all numbers and still win.
Well, if you like yesterday's weather, you like today. John said it's the exact same thing, then he went home.
We're doing the weather now.
He says it hasn't changed a bit. He'll update that for us in about 6 minutes. We're at 5:24 right now on this Tuesday morning.
Well, Target is looking to take on Amazon and Walmart by getting into the household essentials delivery business.
Details in this morning's Tech Bite report.
In today's Tech Bites, Target wants to bring household essentials to your front door.
It's testing a new service called Target Restock that would compete with Amazon Pantry. Customers will be able to have basic items delivered to their homes by the next business day.
Popular navigation app Waze has used lots of celebrity voices for its turn-by-turn directions. One new addition, you may have heard it, Mr. T.
But now it lets you record your own voice so you can give directions to yourself. It's all part of a new update for Android users.
Sounds like a great idea. It's hard to improve on an Oreo cookie, but even Oreo thinks it can be done.
Nabisco is holding a contest for a creative new flavor, so you can text your idea, post it on Oreo's website, or post it on social media with the hashtag MyOreoCreations.
And the prize for first place, $500,000.
But how many Oreos do you get?
That is truly priceless.
Those are your Tech Bites.
Good day.
Tech Bites, brought to you by Walgreens.
You'll be amazed what happens when you put your red nose on. You help ensure that children in the U.S. and around the world are safe, healthy, and educated. This Red Nose Day, swing by Walgreens and get your noses on to help end child poverty. Walgreens, at the corner of happy and healthy.
Allergy symptoms distracting you? Doctors recommend taking Claritin every day of your allergy season for continuous relief. Claritin provides powerful, non-drowsy 24-hour relief for fewer interruptions from the amazing things you do every day. Live Claritin Clear every day.
Breyer's Natural Vanilla, milk and fresh cream, and only sustainably farmed vanilla.
What is this? A vanilla bean?
Breyer's, the good vanilla. We use non-GMO sourced ingredients in some of America's favorite flavors.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes. He just assumed that they would have medication. He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
I am powerful beyond my wildest imagination.
I will define my future.
I will keep challenging myself to improve. Because I am a future leader of this great nation.
I will make a difference in my community.
I will not settle for simply chasing my dreams, I will achieve them.
Because I was given a chance.
An opportunity.
At Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America.
The ultimate leadership experience.
Join us. We'll build a new future together.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, restaurant guide, and more. Go to mysuncoast.com/dining.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-685-6422, 800-685-6422.
There's a whole new way to bank at Achieva Credit Union with Achieva Checking Plus. Get new, unique features like full ID theft protection and online shopping rewards. Plus, it's an interest-bearing account, so you have a little extra for what really matters. Achieva Checking Plus isn't just an account for your money, it's for your life, including cell phone insurance. And that's good to know. Discover the plus at achievacu.com. Achieva, banking for good. Achieva Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
This half hour on Good Morning Suncoast, new details about the national security concerns during the early days of the Trump presidency. We'll hear testimony from the former Attorney General.
And wildfires continue across Georgia and Florida. Families now concerned as flames continue to get closer to homes.
It's burning in the south, but cold in the north and the west, and we'll show you where residents are suffering from an ice storm.
Live from the ABC 7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
5:30 on this Tuesday, Election Day in Sarasota and also in Northport. Make sure you get out there and vote today if you are in one of those districts. Glad you're with us on this Tuesday morning. I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Jacqueline Matter. Certainly glad to have you with us on this Tuesday. Let's check in with meteorologist John Scalzi, who says the weather's, if you liked yesterday, well, pretty similar today.
Almost exact. Almost exact. In fact, the fire danger index remains high because our relative humidity is fairly low. Plenty of sunshine around today. It's going to be a kind of a nice day, I think. If you look at the fire danger, the red flags flying for the entire area, it's pretty clear that most of the peninsula is under the gun for rapid fire growth and spread. Taking a look at the red tide status, haven't shown this for a while. It's all good. Temperatures will be beach weather, I think, this afternoon for a lot of folks. And as you head out to the beach, an onshore wind will keep that area just a little bit cooler, but there are no red tide irritants in the air at the beaches. As far as sunshine goes, UV indexes are very high today, as high as they get actually in 11. So an SPF 30 or better sunscreen will be a requirement if you're going to the beach or really anywhere out of doors today. Daytime highs top out in the mid 80s, no rain in the forecast. The complete forecast for the week ahead, including Mom's Day, coming up in just a few.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. A little slow down there on Cortez, where it meets 14th Street West. Otherwise, no problems in Manatee County. Farther south into Sarasota County, we'll see a buildup now already this morning on Clark Road, just beyond Swift there, heading eastbound toward the interstate near Gulf Gate Estates. And then farther south into Sarasota County, we'll check that map. Nothing to speak of at 5:32 on this Tuesday morning. Topic of news this half hour. We're learning more now about the warnings to the Trump administration.
Former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn could be blackmailed by the Russians. ABC's Janae Norman is in Washington following the latest.
New details about the national security concerns that rocked the early days of the Trump presidency. Former Acting Attorney General Sally Yates testifying she met twice with White House counsel to warn that then National Security Advisor Michael Flynn might have been lying to the White House and had discussed President Obama's sanctions against the Kremlin for election meddling with the Russian ambassador, despite telling the vice president he hadn't.
The vice president was unknowingly making false statements to the public, and because we believed that General Flynn was compromised with respect to the Russians. We believe that the Russians knew this, and that created a compromise situation, a situation where the National Security Advisor essentially could be blackmailed by the Russians.
But Flynn remained on the job for 18 days after the initial warning, even participating in a phone call between President Trump and Vladimir Putin. In that time, it was Yates who was fired for not defending Trump's controversial Muslim travel ban.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States.
Monday, a panel of appeals court judges hearing a challenge to the travel ban, deciding whether Trump's past anti-Muslim statements could be used against him.
He's never repudiated what he said about the Muslim ban. It's still on his website.
As of Monday, a controversial statement was still posted on President Trump's website calling for a complete shutdown of Muslim immigration to the U.S. But within minutes of ABC News asking the White House press secretary about that, it was taken down. Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
Another day begins now with dangerous wildfires along the Georgia and Florida state line. About 100 firefighters have joined nearly 700 already battling the massive fires. It's burning in and around the I'm going to get this right, Okefenokee National Wildlife Refuge there. The fire jumped Highway 94 Sunday and advanced toward the southernmost communities in Georgia, prompting mandatory evacuations there. The fire is growing closer to a property in St. George, and the family there has belongings in the car and sprinklers running on the roof.
Nervous, scared. Just praying and giving it to the Lord.
As of last night, the fires had burned more than 133,000 acres. It's only 12% contained. A powerful hailstorm shattered windows and windshields in many parts of Colorado yesterday. The storm also forced the evacuation and closure of the Colorado Mills Mall. The weather also broke windows, as you're seeing, at a hospital. No patients were affected.
Developing overnight, another airline joins the list of those doing damage control. Spirit Airlines facing backlash after hundreds of passengers were stranded in Fort Lauderdale on Monday. It turns out there are ongoing labor negotiations between Spirit and the Pilots Association, with the dispute leading to cancellations at the Fort Lauderdale-Hollywood International Airport. A total of 11 flights were canceled and over 20 more delayed, with videos on social media showing the scene at the Spirit Airlines counter after the flight cancellations. Several people were even arrested and taken into custody as some travelers started yelling and pounding on the counter. Spirit is claiming the pilots are refusing to fly to influence the outcome of ongoing labor negotiations. However, the Pilots Association is denying its strike. The Broward County Sheriff's Office here in Florida is investigating after an elderly woman is seen being assaulted and thrown into a pool by a teenager after she complained about noise.
As Ian Margot shows us, the incident was all caught on videotape.
Nancy Jones was just asking these kids to turn down the music. That's when a young man decided he was going to throw her into the pool, which seems like it would be a harmless prank. But he slipped and fell with her to the ground, then decided to drag her in anyway.
Whatever happened just happened that day. I don't know. Kids got crazy a little bit.
These friends were at that party and say they didn't actually see her get thrown in, but did see the aftermath.
All I seen people go to running. So I went out the gate, then I went back to see what happened, and I seen she came out the pool, she was wet.
When we showed that video to neighbors, they were blown away.
She's an elder. You need to show respect for your elders. That's crazy. That's a horrible, horrible thing that happened to her.
Tracy Ann Simmons says Nancy was the first person she met at Players Place Townhomes and that she can't believe someone would do something like this.
Young people need to learn from this and pay attention to what they do and think about their actions before they do them.
The teen turned himself in and deputies charged him with battery.
A Florida prosecutor who refuses to seek the death penalty is trying a new tactic in her ongoing legal fight with the governor. State Attorney Aramis Ayala in Orlando is fighting Scott's orders to transfer almost 24 cases from her office. She filed papers with the Florida Supreme Court yesterday that say in 4 different recent cases, Scott told citizens who had written him to complain about cases and that he couldn't intervene because the state attorney is an elected official. The court papers suggest that Scott has either been dishonest with citizens or his views have changed in Ayala's case.
It took 3 extra days, but state lawmakers have approved a budget now. The $82 billion spending plan now goes to the governor for his signature, but he could veto the entire thing or parts of it. The budget includes pay raises for all state workers and a small increase in school funding.
That does more to transform kids' lives, free up teachers, free up administration to go out there and educate our youth. And it also goes in there and says for those situations where they're not doing it and they're stuck in failure factories, that's it. We have game-changing legislation that says that won't happen anymore.
The budget will also include economic development incentive money sought for Enterprise Florida by Governor Rick Scott, and will also slash Visit Florida's tourism marketing funds. However, legislative leaders say they are confident there is enough in the spending plan that the governor likes to avoid a veto. Stay tuned. The budget also includes a series of tax incentives that involves a 3-day tax holiday in August for clothes under $60, footwear, school supplies under $15, and computers under $750. It would also create a 3-day disaster preparedness sales tax holiday for flashlights, generators, first aid kits, and other products as well.
All right, 5:38 on this Tuesday. We're following some top local stories for you here on the Suncoast this morning.
It's election day on the Suncoast. Voters will head to the polls in Sarasota and Northport. The polls open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Police continue their investigation this morning after 2 people died when their van drove off a jetty in Venice.
And jury selection resumes this morning in downtown Bradenton in the triple murder against Andres Avalos, his trial rather. He could face the death penalty for allegedly killing his wife, her friend, and a local pastor 2.5 years ago. The trial should take 3 weeks, and that was a day I'll never forget. I've been covering news on the Suncoast for 30 years, but 2.5 years ago I was having lunch and my phone rang. They said there was a shooting in Northwest Bradenton and also one at a church just across the county line near the airport.
Right.
And it later turned out that one suspect was accused of shooting there, taking a taxi, and shooting there. And this is the suspect right now. So covering the trial is kind of surreal.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Having been there that day when I saw the tears at the church. Just a very, very sad story indeed. So 5:39 right now, and a carbon copy of the weather today again, John.
Pretty much. Yeah. Pretty much. I think maybe a little bit more humid, maybe a touch warmer, but pretty much the same forecast.
All right.
All right, sounds good. Well, still ahead, a highly contagious viral infection has reached elementary students, and now families are concerned. We'll have that story coming up next in your Health This Month.
Today at 4 on Suncoast View.
I'm Stephanie Roberts. On Suncoast View, we'll look at how Ringling College's film program is making its mark, plus Evo competitive cheerleading, melanoma awareness, and Origins Pizza in the kitchen.
Today at 4 on Suncoast View.
This is a special health alert for seniors suffering with joint pain. If you have Medicare insurance, you may qualify for high-quality support braces at little or no cost.
I'm thrilled with my knee braces.
Now, there is a simple and proven solution for seniors to get out of pain with state-of-the-art support braces.
I barely feel any pain at all.
Braces for your knees and back, as well as your shoulders and ankles, too.
I'm so happy with the quality of these braces.
Call now, and you could qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost.
I can play ball again, and it doesn't hurt.
And because of my Medicare coverage, it costs me next to nothing.
So call now.
And because I have this red, white, and blue Medicare card, my braces have cost me just about nothing.
It's true. You may get a knee, back, shoulder, and ankle brace at little or no cost.
They qualified me for 2 knee braces and a back brace.
If you have knee or back pain, give them a call. They can help.
1-800-476-8967. 1-800-476-8967.
What Florida city is best known for spaceflight?
Cape Carnival.
Cape Carnival? Close enough. What condiment includes vinegar, molasses, and anchovies?
Westchester sauce?
Close enough. And now, a word from our sponsors.
One-off from the Florida Lottery. Now available for pick 2, 3, 4, and 5 games. Miss by 1 on any or all numbers and still win.
The kitchen is where life happens. Minnesota Flooring now offers a wide variety of beautiful quality craft-made cabinetry to make sure the heart of your home reflects your style. Visit us today at our new kitchen and bath cabinetry locations.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee County since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
So, looking at temperatures across the state, I think what immediately jumps to mind is we still at this time have some 50s on the board, which is an indication of the drier air that's in place and has allowed the nighttime to cool off very nicely. So we've got 58 degrees in Tallahassee, 52 in Jacksonville. Tampa starts to get a little bit warmer as the humidity gets a little bit higher down in this neck of the woods, and 63 degrees in Orlando, 68 degrees in Fort Myers. Then you get down to the Keys and, you know, it's semi-tropical. 72 degrees currently the air temperature. We're about where we would expect to be at this time of year, maybe a little bit on the cooler side by a few degrees. We'll top it out today, probably a degree or two above average. So if you work it all out, take the average of the day-night temperatures, we'll probably be pretty close to just about where you'd expect to be this time of year. 64 degrees, Wauchula 62, Arcadia 63, and Myakka Parish is at 63, Bradenton at 63, Sarasota at 64, Venice at 65. So currently, we have a dew point value that's still in the 50s, 57 degrees, making it feel pretty comfortable with 64-degree air temperature. Nice starry sky out there with a almost big, bright full moon. It's a very, very nice start to the day. Calm winds currently, but those winds will be shifting a little bit more to the west in the afternoon, and that will bring back humidity a little bit in the afternoon. We'll look for quiet conditions, though, on radar right straight through the day. There's no rain in the forecast. It's going to be another dry afternoon. Fire danger across the state is high. Red flag warnings are flying for about half the real estate in the peninsula of Florida today. We have a couple of hot spots in terms of weather, notably some showers through the Ohio Valley stretching on up into the western Great Lakes, plus back to the west. There is the potential of some severe weather back here as an area of low pressure is kind of deepening and advancing out of the Rockies today. That could create a problem if you are traveling, say, to the Denver airport or El Paso or Albuquerque. It could be a problem. But otherwise, no airport across the nation this morning is showing an airport delay due to weather. So good news if you're traveling. Certainly the Atlanta airports, the Charlotte airports will be A-OK for travelers. High pressure brings us across the entire state. Lovely weather today. Low relative humidity to start the day increases a bit in the afternoon as we will have an onshore wind flow. And again, fire danger is high, meaning fires could start pretty quickly. But this afternoon, there's also going to be a little added problem that we'll get a wind surge. Probably around 3, 4 o'clock like we did yesterday, and the winds will get kind of breezy for a brief period of time coming in off of Gulf waters. So slow moisture increase, and that actually holds true over the next several days. We'll start to see the moisture increasing just a little bit. No rain in the forecast, and that's going to hold more than for a couple of days. That'll go right straight into the weekend, really even beyond. Explain in a second. Cooler coast and then warmer temperatures inland away from that onshore wind flow from the Gulf. So if you look at the bullseye for severe weather potential today, it's back to the west for us here in the state of Florida. We're not going to see any rainfall at all. No thunderstorms, nothing severe. The big ridge of high pressure evident in the cloud patterns on our future forecast. You can see that there's just not a lot going on over the state of Florida. As long as we have this high pressure ridge anchored in Gulf waters, we're not changing the forecast. Now that will change as we head into the weekend. An area of low pressure back to the west will advance and kind of chip away at that high pressure ridge, bringing us a slight chance at a weekend shower, but it's not a big one. Northeast wind shifts to the west this afternoon, coming in at about 10 knots, shifting to the northwest overnight, kind of lightening up during the overnight hours to about 5 knots by tomorrow morning. 2-foot seas, light chop, nice boating weather out there. Couple of tides, 12:03 high tide, a low tide at 7:51, and another high tide coming your way at about 1:40 in the morning. So the forecast for the week ahead looks pretty good. We'll have a couple of days of warm weather, a few extra clouds as we head into Thursday and Friday as the moisture begins to increase a little bit, not only at the surface but aloft. That'll maybe take off a degree or two of our daytime high temperature. And then on Saturday, we'll have that front advance into our region. It'll kind of fall apart as it does so, but it will bring us our only chance of rain for the 7 days ahead, and it's only a 20% chance, nothing really heavy. All clears out. Sunday, Mother's Day, looks absolutely great. With daytime highs in the low 80s, we'll have relatively low humidity. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, John. Taking a look at traffic this morning. State Road 70 as you head east, seeing an increase in traffic. Also 301 as you head north, and 41 as you head into South Bradenton, seeing some congestion in both directions. As we head into Sarasota County, looking pretty clear throughout that area. The only congestion really on Bee Ridge Road as you head towards 41. I-75 looking clear as we head into South County, pretty quiet throughout that area. No accidents along the Suncoast on this Tuesday.
So did you have chicken pox as a little girl?
I did. I certainly did. It was the most miserable experience ever.
Yes, there's now a chicken pox outbreak impacting students.
And it has a lot of concerned families talking. Reporter Leslie Lopez has more.
Nearly 100 students at Mariposa Elementary School are being told by the school district to stay home while they deal with an outbreak of the chicken pox.
A lot of my friends' kids are home because they're not vaccinated. My kids are vaccinated.
90 of the 400 students on campus are not vaccinated. That's nearly 25%. Those unvaccinated students are being told to stay home for 3 weeks to prevent the spread of the disease.
When the third case popped in a window span that covered 3 grades, the health department said, we need to start excluding students who are unvaccinated.
Vaccinations are a hot topic, and some parents we spoke to on campus have strong opinions on the matter.
I feel that parents have their rights to do whatever they want, but I feel that they shouldn't put other children in jeopardy or in, a place where they could be hurt.
My own daughter was hospitalized at 5 months with chickenpox, and she got meningeal encephalitis as a result of chickenpox. So for me, it's very serious. And my kids and my grandkids are all fully vaccinated.
New law SB 277 now requires any kindergarten or 7th grader to be vaccinated. Parent Azra Karami Gobadi believes forcing students to be immunized is a violation of her civil rights as a parent.
The families have their own values, maybe religious values or scientific beliefs that they don't want to do vaccination. And I think this is absolutely against democracy and against what people believe.
Other health news now. Teens who are depressed might not use that word to describe how they're actually feeling. Researchers at University of Illinois found that teens are more likely to say they're stressed or feeling down or that they get mad at people for no reason. Parents should also watch out if their teens don't seem to be interested in activities they used to love or if they're having trouble sleeping or sleeping too much. Teens in the study also cited homework and pressure to succeed as some of their stressors, along with family issues as well. A lot of that stuff transfers to adults as well.
Yeah, and a recent study out of UVA says that you can find some of these probiotics in yogurt can actually help treat depression and anxiety, according to their research.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Firefighters in Washington went for a rescue, and it wasn't to save anybody from a fire. This is different.
Stay with us. We'll have that story coming up.
There's a whole new way to bank with Achieva Checking Plus. You get new features like cell phone protection for 3 phones, plus an interest-bearing account. And that's good to know. Discover all the benefits at AchievaCU.com. Achieva, banking for good. Achieva Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
But is it? It's really just the beginning, right? Have you written a book and want it published but don't know where to start? You're not alone. Page Publishing cuts through the confusion that most new authors face, like copyright protection, barcodes, printing, and digital uploading. We will get your book into bookstores now. We guide you through the publishing maze and help you distribute and sell your work in hard copy and ebook formats. That's right, we will digitize and place your book for sale on Amazon, Apple iBooks, and Google, offering it to millions. Don't waste another minute. Most publishers won't even look at new author submissions, but we're different. We review your book and provide you feedback in about a week. If we decide to publish your book, your work ends and ours begins. From copy editing and proofing to typesetting and book cover art, our team gets you into bookstores fast.
Call for your free author submission kit at 800-425-5308.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline. If you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death, you must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
At Tidewell Hospice, we know it's never too late to say thank you to our military veterans. The Tidewell Honors Veterans Program has provided care to more than 13,000 military families since 2008. Tidewell volunteers help honor veterans through special pinning ceremonies that demonstrate our appreciation for the freedom our veterans fought to defend. If you know a veteran who can benefit from end-of-life care, call or visit tidewell.org today. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
There's a whole new way to bank with Achieva Checking Plus. You get new features like full ID theft protection, and that's good to know. Discover all the benefits at achievacu.com. Achieva, banking for good. Achieva Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
Take a look at this. One fire department teamed up with animal control and water officials to perform a very special rescue on Monday. They cracked open a storm drain to free 8 little ducklings that had fallen through the grate. Officials plucked each little duckling out of the sewer and then set them loose near their watchful mother, of course. All 8 of the ducklings were rescued safely and reunited with their family. How cute. I love little ducklings. They look so fluffy and cute.
Seeing those ducklings lined up after their mother is one of the cutest things in the world.
It really is. It's very sweet. We're looking at some very warm temperatures across the region. And speaking of storm grates, you know, you pass by some of these storm grates and you see kind of large gaps, and you wonder why aren't those covered in some fashion or another? You know, they could. I mean, we did some stories on dogs that have been captured in those storm grates and such as that.
Good question.
I don't know.
More local news after this. Stay with us.